Happy day, everybody. Today is Tuesday, May 25th, and this is our last day of classes in second grade. I hope you guys have enjoyed your year so far, or the year altogether. I have enjoyed being with you. I hope you guys have learned a lot. So, we're going to go ahead and get started on two of our last four junior achievement videos. We're on Unit 4. We're going to do sessions 2 and 3 for Wit and Wisdom class.
Hi, and welcome to the JA Building Blocks program. I'm Dr. Jenkins, and I'm here with a special guest, Malia Ezel. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Malia owns The Big Fizz, which is a bath bomb and bath fizz company, and she's going to tell us more about that later. As always, I want to share a little bit about myself with you all. So here are two pictures. One is a picture of my daughter and I out on a Saturday having coffee. And I thought this picture was funny because she's so much taller than me now. And it kind of really made me think, I'm short. And this other picture is a picture of my refrigerator. You know how we're always talking about affirmations? Well, when I opened up my refrigerator, I realized that I have lots of affirmations on my refrigerator. One is never, never give up. So I hope that you'll enjoy looking at my refrigerator magnets and see that I also do that at home, not just with you all. So now we'll hear from Malia. Malia, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself? You brought two pictures. What are you doing in that first picture?
So the first picture is actually at the business fair, and I had an order, and so I had to pack it up in the bag, and I gave them their bath bombs, and they really enjoyed it, so I'm happy.
Oh, nice. And what is the second picture? What are you doing?
The second picture, I'm actually making the bath bomb, and so I'm adding all the ingredients, and I'm mixing it up and forming the bath bombs in the mold.
Nice. So I notice you're in your garage. Is it someplace you need to be in a place where you can really spread out?
Yes, because it's a lot of stuff that you had to do. It's not really complicated, but you have to have enough space to, really get the job done.
And you don't want to mess up your mom's kitchen.
You don't.
Right. So you always want to get permission before you start making things at home. So tell me something else about yourself.
So I express myself through reading, and I express myself through digitally drawing on my iPad. My favorite book is called My Year in the Middle, and it's about a girl who has to sit in the middle of the classroom because she doesn't identify as white or as a person of color.
Thank you for sharing that. So Malia, here at the JA Building Blocks program, we like to do deep breathing. Have you ever used deep breathing?
I have.
Really? So you are an expert. So we are going to do 3 deep breaths today just to kind of center ourselves and so that we can get ready for learning. Are you ready?
Yes.
So we're going to breathe in through our nose and out through our mouth. Number 1, breathe in. Breathe out. Number 2, breathe in. Breathe out. Do you feel relaxed, Malia?
I do. I feel a lot better.
Good. Number 3, breathe in. And breathe out. Very good. So when do you use deep breathing? Do you use it before you take a test or?
Yes, before I study, before I take a test, before I go on the stage for like an award ceremony or anything like that. It's very, very helpful for me.
It is, and we enjoy doing that here. The other thing we like doing is talking about affirmations, like I told you I have on my refrigerator. So our affirmation for today is, I am calm and relaxed. Malia makes bath bombs and bath fizzes, so that's a way that you can calm yourself and relax. And later we're going to make a really fun craft that you can do at home with easy to find materials in your kitchen to help with you calming and with you being relaxed. So you want to say the affirmation with me?
Yes.
All right, let's start. I am calm and relaxed. Again, let's say it all together. I am calm and relaxed. And guess what? We did our deep breathing. That helps us to be relaxed. We also know that we're going to do something later to talk about that helps us with self-care. That will help us relax. So it's really important that you know how to relax and how to take care of yourself. So today we're going to talk about resources or tools for entrepreneurs. Today you will learn entrepreneurs use resources to offer products and services in a region. Malia uses lots of resources when she's making her product. Our words of the day. We have 4. The first one, natural resources. Things that occur naturally, such as air, water, minerals, and trees. Natural resources. I bet if you look out of your window, you'll see some natural resources. Human resources. People who do the work that businesses need. Human resources. I'm a human resource because I'm an educator. Capital resources. Buildings, tools, and machines that businesses use. When we think back to Mr. Braden, who came from the Blue City Donuts, he had a donut making machine, right? That is a capital resource. And our last word, resources. Something that is used to produce a good or service. Resource. So now let's talk about it. We know that Malia makes things in her garage that can help you be calm and to help you relax. Let's talk about how she makes them. So what are some of the capital resources that you use to make your product, Malia?
Some of the capital resources would be the whisk or the bowl that I use to mix it in, the bottles that
you store it in. And then also you have the bags for the bath fizz.
Yes, that is a capital resource.
Exactly. So tell me about what are some of the natural resources that you use?
The natural resources would be the essential oils that help you relax, the Epsom salt that helps you also relax and it relaxes your body, and almond oil that also helps relax your body. So this whole thing is based about relaxing.
Do you ever use water?
Yeah, I do use water.
So that's a natural resource too. So I know you probably need some help too. So do you have any human resources?
Yes, I do. My parents, my dad makes the logo. My mom makes, now my mask and my shirt. And my grandparents help with the funding as far as the money goes.
Right. And then you have a little brother and a little sister, right?
I do.
So do they help at all?
They do. They try to help.
They try. That's how little sisters and brothers can be, right? So you've talked a little about all of the resources that you use. Why don't you tell us about the Big Fizz company?
So the Big Fizz started about 2 years ago. I put it on pause a little bit, and then it came back for the pandemic because I saw that people were stressed and people needed some type of relaxation. So I wanted to help people from everywhere and to relax, and I know I couldn't just do it here. So I had to start making a website so people could order from all across the world.
Right. And so you had to use all of your different types of resources to kind of make your business successful through a pandemic. Right. And so I love the fact that your family is involved. Tell me, what made you decide to do bath bombs?
Bath bombs, I decided that I wanted to do bath bombs when I saw that it was the idea, like the concept of the ball fizzing in the water was like really cool to me. And personally, I really like science, and this involves a lot of science.
So you really like science. Tell me about how it involves a lot of science.
It involves a lot of science by the citric acid is what makes it fizz. And so when the citric acid hits water, then it starts to fizz. And the pigments and all that stuff is just to make it the bath bomb. And so you drop it in the water and it starts to fizz.
So you've talked about citric acid. Why don't we talk about how you make your bath bomb?
So I make it with Epsom salt, baking soda, citric acid, essential oils. In this case, I use rose or lavender. Rose helps to relieve stress and anxiety, which there's a lot of right now. And I use colored pigments to make the bath bomb a certain color. And then I mix it all up and I use a mold and I mold it together to make it a sphere shape.
So show us some of the things that you have in front of you.
So this is the rose essential oil, and that's what helps relieve anxiety and stress. And this is the bath bomb. It's like the finished product.
Let's talk about some of the other products you make.
Okay, so I have bracelets, and they are a great fidget toy if you want to fidget with it if you want to focus. And then I have Bath Fizz, which is the same as the bath bomb, just in a powder form.
Okay, did you bring a sample of the Bath Fizz?
I did. This is the Bath Fizz in the pink color. And then we have a yellow color of the Bath Fizz as well.
So which of the pigments did you use for that one?
So I used the yellow pigment for the yellow one, and it always comes out lighter because you have to add liquid to it. I added the pink one for the pink, and then the blue for the blue bath bomb.
Okay, nice. Thank you for sharing how you make your bath bombs and how you make your bath fizz. Now we're going to make a fun craft. We're going to make a sugar scrub. Malia, have you ever made a sugar scrub?
I've never made a sugar scrub.
She's never made one, so maybe this will be a new product for her product line. So we're going to try it. So Malia, you only need 2 ingredients. Regular old sugar and oil, either coconut or olive oil will work. I tried this at home last night just to see if it would work, and this is the sugar scrub that I use with olive oil. Notice has a little bit more color to it. And this is the sugar scrub I used with coconut oil. So it's a little thicker and it's a little more white. So these are the 2 different oils that you can use, olive oil or coconut oil. Today we are going to use coconut oil. You will also need a small takeout container, just from leftovers or something that you have in your mom's pantry. But remember, always ask permission before you go and get something from the kitchen. So the first thing I need to do is I need 1/4 cup of sugar. So I'm going to get that. I'm going to put this into my container. And I need 1/8 cup of oil. Malia already has hers, so I'm going to scoop mine out. See how easy that is? It's real thick. I'm going to use my spoon to get it out. I'm going to get all of it out. Just like that. Now remember, clean up behind yourself when you're done.
It's very important to clean up.
Very important. You see what I'm doing? I'm using the measuring cup to kind of help me get all of the coconut oil out. Okay. So now you're going to gently stir. So you want to press your coconut oil down into the sugar. Just press it down almost flat. Work it around. Now you may have to kind of slide your spoon around. Did I mention you need a spoon? You need a plastic spoon for stirring. And we are using paper plates because the paper plates keep the mess at bay. So when your mom looks at you or your dad or your grandma says, "What are you doing in there?" You can say you're not making a mess, right?
Yeah.
How's your stirring coming?
It's coming good. It's going on.
You can see you have to keep working the coconut oil, or if you're using olive oil, and I'm kind of sliding it off my spoon and keep on working. The whole point is you want to just keep stirring. Now, I'm looking at mine, and I think I may need a little bit more coconut oil. Do you need a little bit more?
I think so. Yes.
Okay. Sometimes you need a little bit more. Here. I'm going to just get my spoon and just keep working it. So this is what the coconut oil looks like overnight. And this is what the olive oil looks like overnight. And this is what I'm doing right now. So you see, we just have to keep stirring and just take your time. I wonder what we could use this for.
Maybe you can use it to hydrate your lips maybe. Or you could use it to moisturize.
Yes. And the nice thing about this is you can use it to take care of yourself.
Very important. Self-care is number 1.
Self-care is number 1. Is this just for boys or girls, or is this for everybody?
Yeah, this has no gender at all.
Exactly. Anybody can do this. Boys or girls, it doesn't matter. We all want to relax and take care of ourselves. Well, I think all of my sugar has mixed up really well. How about yours?
It's coming along good.
So let's give it a whirl. You're going to just dip in. Let's just rub it on our hand. Oh,
That feels nice.
I know. And the olive oil is kind of warming up. And then you would just rub it all in like that. And then you can go to your bathroom and rinse it off. And you're exfoliating. That means you're pulling off that dead skin that you have. Since we aren't near a sink, I'm just going to take my paper towel and wipe it off. I'm going to see if I feel anything different. Let's see. Definitely feels a little softer with that coconut oil, doesn't it? Well, that's how you make a homemade sugar scrub. Did you have fun with that?
I did.
And guess what? If you want to try to add things to it, you may want to add essential oils. That gives it a little bit of a scent like peppermint or lavender. Or you could also add food coloring to make it pink or green or yellow or purple. Thanks for making this with me, Malia.
You're welcome.
I enjoyed it. I hope you have fun making your sugar scrub. Well, we have had so much fun visiting with Malia and learning all about the Big Fizz. Thank you for coming today.
No problem.
We love learning about the science behind a bath bomb and how she created another product line from a failure, right, with her bath bombs that didn't quite stay solid. But we learned that most importantly that we can learn how to relax, and we can also use our deep breathing to do that. So how could we remember all the lessons we learned today? Malia, we like to write in our journal at the end. What is something we could put in our journal that would remind us of all those things that we learned today?
How about I can take care of myself?
I like that one. I can take care of myself. Yes, perfect. Use an uppercase I can take, and if you don't know how to spell, it's okay, do the best you can. Can take care of myself. Good. And I'm going to put an exclamation point by that because that's so important to be able to take care of yourself and to be calm and relaxed. We hope that you have learned how to do that today. We hope that you've enjoyed hearing about Malia's business, and we look forward to seeing you the next time on the JA Building Blocks program. Thanks for joining us.
Okay, so that was our first one, and that looked like a lot of fun. I wonder if you guys are going to do that. I might go home and make a sugar scrub for myself and put some lavender oil in it. That would smell nice. All right, so we're going to do session 3 now.
Hi, and welcome to the Junior Achievement Building Blocks program. I'm Dr. Jenkins, and it's so good to be here today with our guest, Taylor Berger. Welcome.
Hey, thank you.
We are so glad you're here today. We can't wait to hear what fun things he's going to tell us about owning restaurants and businesses in Memphis. So as usual, I'd like to start off with some pictures about myself, and then Mr. Berger is going to share some about himself too. So I want you to look at this first picture of Sammy. Sammy is our dog, as you know, but I think this picture is so funny because he's the same color as the rug. And sometimes at night, I literally have to step over him because I think he's the rug. So I thought that was a funny picture to share with you all. And this other picture is of my grandmother and my daughter. They have the same name. Now, my grandmother's no longer with us, but my daughter is now 13, and this is one of our favorite photos. We call it Big Phoebe and Little Phoebe. So those are some fun pictures that I wanted to share with you all. What about you, Mr. Berger? Tell me about this picture. It looks like you're standing on your head.
This is a picture of me doing one of my favorite things in one of my favorite places.
What? Tell me what?
So I'm on top of a mountain that I
Nice.
climbed in Colorado, and I'm doing a handstand.
On a mountain. That sounds really fun.
Yeah,
So do you like to hike with your family too?
I like to hike, but I don't get to do that too much because there's not a lot of mountains around here.
I know.
So I do get to do a lot of yoga, though.
Do you?
Yeah, I get to go every day.
And you get to do handstands and yoga too, right?
Lots of them.
I love it. Now, do you have any children?
I have 3 children. The oldest is 9, and he's a boy, Andrew. And then I've got a daughter named Julia, who's 7, and a daughter named Catherine with crazy curly hair, and she's 5.
Wow, I bet your house is busy.
It is.
Must be fun. Well, thank you for sharing that with us. So here at the Junior Achievement Building Blocks program, we like to take deep breaths. It's one of the ways we kind of relax ourselves. My guess is you've done this before.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. So let's do it together. We're going to do 3 deep breaths, and I'll show you how we do it here. We inhale through our nose, and then we exhale through our mouth. We're going to do that 3 times. Are you ready to join in with us? Here's number 1. Inhale and exhale. I like to close my eyes. It really relaxes me. Number 2, inhale and exhale. And the last one, number 3, inhale and exhale. Do you feel more relaxed?
Yes.
I know. It's a great way to get started with our lesson today. The other thing we like to do here at the Junior Achievement Building Blocks program is we like to use affirmations. Have you ever used affirmations?
Yeah, maybe. Why don't you tell me what you guys do?
We like to use words to encourage ourselves. And so this is our affirmation for today. I am capable of doing great things. Do you want to say that with me?
Sure.
I am capable of doing great things. So why don't you say it with us? I am capable of doing great things. And we know you are capable of doing great things. We know that you're going to do great things. So our lesson for today, our topic is the hot dog stand game. Today you will learn about the tasks performed by a business owner. Let me give you a little hint. Mr. Berger is our business owner. So we have lots of words of the day. The first one is advertising. Persuading customers to buy a good or service. Advertising. Expense. Money spent for something. Expense. Customer. A person who buys something. Customer. Loss. When a business pays more in expenses than it makes in sales. Loss. Profit. When a business makes more money in sales than it spends on expenses. Profit. So those are our words for the day. And now we're going to talk about it. So when we think about what's important to a business to make money, can you tell me why or why not that's important, Mr. Berger?
Sure. Well, when I went into business, it wasn't necessarily to make money. It was because I wanted to do something that I enjoyed. Okay, but turned out if I didn't make money at it, I couldn't do it.
Right, exactly.
So, a lot of people get into business, trying to do something that they love, but then they realize, hey, there's this whole side of things where, first
Expenses.
I gotta make money.
Right.
I gotta make more money than I spend so I can keep doing what I enjoy.
Right. So there's a whole formula to this, right?
Right.
And we're going to talk a little bit about that. So what does a business do with the money that it makes?
Sure. Well, most of it is spent usually on its employees. Because you really can't do a whole lot by yourself, or I've found I couldn't. I can have great ideas and want to do great things, but if I really want to do something in this world, I need to get other people to help me because other people have skills that I don't have.
Right.
So
you have to spend money on the people who work for you.
Right.
And then what else do you have to spend money on?
That's a big one, but also, generally a lot of businesses sell things, and sometimes it's actual goods, like at the grocery store, they sell food, so they have to buy that food to sell to you.
Right.
Right? But other people sell services. So they might sell, a service that they're having to...
Like lawn cutting.
Like lawn cutting. But you got to buy that lawnmower, to be able to provide that service.
Exactly. So what if I want to open a restaurant? What is it that I would need to do?
Well, I always think that you should work in another person's business before starting your own. It's a really helpful way to learn about a business without just jumping in by finding somebody that you trust and look up to that's already doing it well, and maybe getting a job with them, becoming an employee for them.
And really learning on the job
right.
all of the pieces that it takes to run a restaurant.
And you may not start out at the top of that restaurant. You might start out, washing dishes or just cleaning up after customers when they leave. But I've found that if you do that well, that you'll quickly move up and start doing other things and learning more things.
Right. So there are lots of different levels to working in a restaurant. And so getting to know all of those pieces will help you become a better restaurant owner if that is what your goal is.
Right. Really, to be a good owner, you have to be willing and able to do just about every job in the restaurant.
From sweeping the floors to cooking the food to waiting on your customers.
I can't tell you how many toilets I've had to plunge out. Okay.
Exactly. I can imagine. So, speaking of plunging out toilets and businesses and owning things, you own different restaurants, but you also have a background as an attorney. Tell me how all this works together, and how did you, when you were a little boy, did you want to own a restaurant?
I did always want to be a business owner since I was a little boy. And I don't know why. Maybe I just saw other business owners and I looked up to them. But it was just always something that was kind of in my heart that I wanted to do. But like I said, I didn't really know how to do a lot. And so I went to school and ended up going to college. And then I went to law school because I kind of wanted to learn about how the world and business worked.
So college is 4 years, and then law school is 3 years. So it would take you 7 years if you want to become an attorney to be a lawyer. An attorney and a lawyer are the same things.
Right. But that whole time when I was through high school and in college and during law school, I had jobs. So I was always working, and sometimes in restaurants, sometimes in building things, but always working and learning.
So you were in construction.
Right. Yeah. Built decks and fences when I was in law school, and, just because I needed to make money.
Right.
Because school a lot of time doesn't pay. Pays off in the long term.
You have to pay to go to school.
Right. You actually have to
or
pay
you get a
them.
scholarship, yes.
So anyway, I got a lot of experience while I was going to school, learning different jobs and things like that, so that by the time I got finished with school, I had my degrees and I was able to get good jobs.
Very good. And so once you finished school and you became a lawyer, when did you decide that this just wasn't for me? I want to open a business.
Well, I guess I kind of underestimated what owning a business would be like. Because I thought I could start a frozen yogurt shop and keep being a lawyer. But I quickly learned that even a simple business like an ice cream shop is actually a full-time job. And I just couldn't do both.
Right. I know YOLO. It used to be in East Memphis, and my daughter and I spent many afternoons after school eating yogurt at YOLO with our friends. And so it was a very busy, very prosperous business. And so I can imagine that it required a lot of managing. And that's the piece behind the scenes, ordering supplies, making sure that you have all of the equipment you need. Those are all pieces of the business that's invisible to the customer, but very, very visible to you as the business owner.
Right. It's a full-time job. Yes. That's for sure, because you have to do, like you said, the advertising. You have to do the people part, and that means making the customers happy, making your employees happy.
And we've talked about human resources, and we've talked about all of these different resources over in our other sessions with you all. And so you all know what he's talking about. That there are a lot of pieces to this puzzle.
There are. Right.
And so you also own Laughlin. Tell me about Laughlin Yard.
So Laughlin Yard, like many of the restaurants that we have, it's a place downtown Memphis that used to be where horses lived.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Talk about upcycling.
Yeah, you've probably been downtown and you've seen the carriages being drawn by the horses. Well, those horses used to live in a barn where my restaurant is now.
Wow.
So, but they ended up changing where the barn is. Now it's somewhere else. And so that was vacant. And yet there was a pretty stream running through it. And, this really old building that had a lot of character. And
we said that at the same time, Jinxies. We said that together.
Yeah. So, it just felt like a special place. And so, we were able to turn it into a gathering place. So it's a big place. We have food like any other restaurant, but we also have just a ton of space where people can have campfires and they can sit by the side of the stream and they can run around with their families, and it's just a lot of fun.
We've been talking about different things about cities and the JA Building Blocks program. And so one of the things we've talked about is what makes a city appealing to people. And one of those is just having those community spaces where families can gather and enjoy the city that they live in. So it's so wonderful that the businesses that you have brought to the city have in places that families can enjoy spending time. And so, I mean, I love the idea around Laughlin Yard and YOLO, because those two businesses definitely allowed for families to spend time together. So now you also have something called Rail Garden. I've been there. It's a lot of fun.
And that's real similar. It was just, this kind of forgotten place, but it happened to be in the middle of a neighborhood. And we were able to kind of just change a few little things and turn it into a big open place with a playground and an ice cream shop. And we have music. Yeah.
It's just a fun outdoor space in the city, which once again makes you really appreciate and love living where you live, because there are these fun things to do in the city where you are. Now, as with any business, sometimes you have to make a change, right? And so tell me about how you all have kind of pivoted and made some changes.
Sure. Well, when the pandemic hit, all the restaurants had to close to keep everybody safe. And they've subsequently reopened, but everything's very still kind of slow there. Not nearly as many people are comfortable coming out to restaurants yet. And so we had all these employees, we had some trucks, and we had nothing to do. So we decided to create a business.
Wow, we've talked about creating businesses from needs, right? So you all started thinking about the needs of people. You had employees that needed to work, but then also there are people who are in their homes that have needs. So how did you all, what was your solution?
Right, so just like the restaurants were closed, the city asked all the people to stay at home. And so the people couldn't go out and get their grocery things.
They're mulch to do their gardening.
Right. They couldn't get out and do those things for themselves a lot. And so we were able to provide those services and get those goods to those people.
That is amazing. And so I love how you were able to meet the needs of your community, but also help your employees, the human resources that you have, those people that are depending on you for employment. So that's amazing. So one theme that I'm hearing through all of this is that you've been very flexible, from being a lawyer to being a business owner to trying to solve problems as a business owner. What role does flexibility play in all of this?
It's really important to be flexible. Something that I've heard a lot is that the way you do anything is the way you do everything.
Say that again.
The way you do anything is the way you do everything.
Yes. So even when you're 5 years old or 8 years old or 9 years old, you are beginning to practice those behaviors. And so being flexible and being hardworking and being one of these people that really pays attention to detail, even as a 5-year-old or an 8-year-old or a 9-year-old, those are all traits that you can start developing now.
Right. I mean, I like to think about the way I make my bed in the morning. It also is kind of how I'm going to run my business.
Wow. So raise your hand if you make your bed every morning. I think that's a good point. So taking care of your house, taking care of your space, that is how you're going to reflect your business the way that you're going to run your business.
Right.
So, but being flexible around employment, but being flexible also around change. How does that, what can you tell us about that, being flexible as things change?
Sure. I mean, you always hear the change is inevitable and all of that. But this year we learned that change can come really fast out of nowhere. Nobody saw the pandemic coming in March. And nobody thought we would close all the restaurants and have to get totally new jobs. But that's what happened. And that's beyond our control. And at the end of the day, there's so much beyond our control. This year just kind of sped that up. And so I think a lot of us felt very powerless and felt like, what am I going to do with all this change? But we just kind of had to step one foot in front of the other and just keep breathing and keep doing our best.
And I bet affirmations probably could help too.
Yeah.
encouraging yourself and letting you know that this too will pass, and that you can contribute to the world, and that you can do things differently.
Yep.
So all the practicing that we're doing around deep breathing and affirmations, that all helps you when you do encounter really tough times or challenging times that are kind of difficult to get through. But being flexible is definitely key. And dreaming big is also important. So even as things are changing, it's really important that you still dream big, right?
Right. It's easy to get caught up in just the little things from day to day. You know, your chores and your fights with your sister and your brother and your friends. So it's good to take a little time for yourself to be quiet and just to think about the future and what you want your life to be like.
That's so interesting. I watched a documentary the other night about the first Black national hockey player. And he set a goal when he was 14 years old that he wanted to be the first Black player in the NHL, the National Hockey League. At 14, he set this goal. And every day he worked for that goal. And so every day you have to think about what it is you want to do, dreaming big. I like to dream big by gazing and thinking and staring out into space and wondering because it's so vast and it's so big, I wonder, what can I do next? What do I want to do? And giving yourself freedom to do that is an amazing gift.
That's right.
Exactly. So what we're going to do is we're going to think about how we can dream big. And one of the ways that we're going to dream big is we're going to use a telescope that we can use to gaze up into the stars and dream about what we may want to do. If we want to be a restaurant owner, or if we want to be the most important person who contributes to our society in some way, we want you to have a way to do that by making this telescope with us. So stay tuned. So we were just talking about dream big, Taylor, right? How do we dream big? Sometimes we gaze out and look at the stars and think, well, I thought, what better craft to make than a telescope? Or you can make one with two of your toilet paper holders. So this one is a paper towel holder, and that's what it was, like this. Paper towel holders or toilet paper holders. So you can ask permission, of course, but you can use these to make a telescope. And let me tell you how we're going to do that, Taylor. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to cut your toilet paper holder in half, just along the seam. Just cut just like that. Very good. So now you have one has a cut in it. So you're going to just pull it together in your hand like that. Slide it into the toilet paper holder. So it's a little smaller, right? Now you're going to get some tape. You're going to tape that closed. And then put about 2 or 3 pieces of tape on that. So you're going to need tape. You're going to need toilet paper holders. You're going to need crayons or markers. Or you may want to use stickers. What are you going to... How's yours coming along?
Pretty good.
Good. Now you want to make sure that you really press that tape down. Oh, I think you made yours a little too small. That's okay. You know what? Sometimes we make mistakes on the JA Building Blocks program. We just untape it and do it again. So while Mr. Berger is fixing his, I'm going to show you what I did, which is I just kind of smushed my tape in right there. So it really holds that together. And then you're going to slide it in like that. See that? Okay. So you want to make sure, yep, there you go. So that's how your telescope is going to work. So when you're sitting at home, you can go in your backyard, gaze up into the sky, and think about all the great dreams you have. So before we do that, though, let's decorate it. I think I'm going to put hearts on mine. And I think I'm going to write the words dream big, too, because that's what I'm going to use my telescope for. Dream. I'm going to put dream on this side. How are you decorating yours?
I'm putting stripes on mine.
Ooh. I don't know if anybody noticed, but I actually had Memphis Tigers as one of mine. This one is a Memphis Tiger, so it has a few of the orange stripes on it. See? Memphis Tigers. And then this one, my favorite colors are pink and green, but I didn't want to use green, so I used pink and yellow. And this one is pink and yellow. And this one has a message on it. It says, dream big. And this telescope will help me find all of the interesting things that I would want to dream about. I love the stripes, very creative. Well done. Let me see you use yours.
Ah.
Very cool. Lovely. Well, thank you so much for making this craft with us today. We hope that you'll have fun making your telescope and that you can dream big. We've had so much fun today at the JA Building Blocks talking with Mr. Berger about his businesses, about how to start a restaurant, and we've also enjoyed making our telescopes so that we can dream big. So as we end our session today, we always like to put something in our journal to help us remember our session and what we learned today. What do you think we could add in our journal today?
How about I can dream big?
I love that. I can dream big. We know you can dream big. Let's put that in our journal. I, capital, I'm going to do an uppercase capital I, can dream big. I'm going to underline dream. I'm going to put an exclamation point. I can dream big. We hope that you will also remember to always dream big. Thank you, Mr. Berger, for being with us. Thanks again. See you next time.
Okay, so that was our second video. What I want to do, guys, is I want to remind you, you can always do the fun activities after class. You can rewind the videos and listen to the directions on how to do the activities and the projects. The sugar scrub one sounded fun. The telescope one was kind of fun too. I also want to remind you that your Wit and Wisdom Journal is very important. You guys did so much work this year. You worked so hard. And Miss Faust, the virtual school principal, wants you to keep your journal so that when you go to school next year, if you are going back in person learning next year, if you're going to go back into the building, she wants you to take that journal to your third grade teacher and show them all of the work that you did for me in second grade with Wit and Wisdom. That way they know how hard you worked and how much we did together. Okay, so keep those journals, don't throw them away, and then take them with you next year to show them to your new teacher. Okay, all right, so let's do our word of the day today. And don't forget, guys, you still need to be doing Amplify and Epic today. And then tomorrow, you will be returning your Chromebooks to your home schools. So today will be your last day to do Amplify and Epic for school credit. Now, I think Amplify will work through the summer. I don't think Epic will unless you purchase the at-home part. If you've purchased the at-home part, you can still continue to use Epic all summer long. All right, and our word for today's Wit and Wisdom class is honey. Honey. I like the word honey. All right, so there we have it. That is our lesson for today, and then I will see you later for phonics when we do our last two junior achievement lessons. All right, bye guys.